Blessings, beautiful beings. Thank you so much for joining me today. For practice, if you'd like to have any props, you can grab some yoga blocks, a blanket, or a towel, a bolster if you have one. If you don't have one, you can grab a pillow. And as always, none of these props are completely necessary, but if you'd like to grab them, you can. We're going to start out today in a comfortable cross-legged seat. So I'm going to come to my mat. If you do have a blanket or a towel, you can grab it. And it doesn't have to be a yoga blanket like this. It can be just a regular old towel, whatever you have lying around. And you can bring that to sit on. I'm going to remove Sam. I also have Fritz here. So, hey, come on. If you have a bolster or a pillow, you can use that also. Basically, what you're using this for is just to prop your hips up, and that's going to make it a little bit more comfortable on your knees. So we'll go ahead and start here, and just, again, your comfortable cross-legged seat, whatever feels good in your body. If it feels comfortable to you, you can close down the eyes or soften your gaze. And we're going to start by just breathing. I like to start that way because usually when I'm recording, it's after I've been working all day, so it's nice to center myself and really get myself in a good place and set an intention for my practice. So you can focus on the inhales. Feeling that cool air enter through your nostrils, moving down through your body all the way down into your belly. And then focus on the exhale. Feeling everything, your stomach, your lungs, your chest, everything contract back inward as that air goes out of your mouth or nose. And just notice the temperature of the air as it exits, the warmthness of it. Continue to focus on your breath. And if your mind wandered to maybe something else, maybe something that happened in your day today, or maybe future plans, or what's for dinner, or something like that, just bring your attention back to your breath. And Fritz is focusing on his breath. I don't know if the microphone picked that up, but he had a nice big exhale, nice big sigh out his nose. All right, let's take one more big inhale together. Exhale, you can sigh it out your mouth and just let it all go like Fritz just did. And when you're ready, you can slowly bat your eyes open or refocus your gaze to the room around you. Notice Sam is demonstrating Shavasana, which we're not quite there yet, but this is his favorite pose. So we'll get there, I promise, but not just yet. For now, we are going to transition to all fours. Again, you can, if you have a blanket or a towel, you can use that to pad your knees if you're on a hard surface or maybe your mat's a little thin. My mat actually today is kind of thick, so I'm going to remove my blanket, but feel free to keep yours. All right, and then we'll just come to all fours. So hands underneath your shoulders, knees stacked under your hips, and from here we're just going to warm up our spine. So on the inhale, drop your lower ribs, look forward, lift your head, lift your tail, coming into a cow pose. And on the exhale, we'll round through the spine, drop the head, drop the tail, coming into a cat. Inhale, dropping those lower ribs, lifting the head, lifting the tail, looking forward. Exhale, rounding through the spine, dropping the head, dropping the tail, cat. All right, go ahead and do a few more just on your own inhales and exhales. And if one particular posture feels better to you than another, go ahead and just stay in it for a couple breaths. So really tune into your own body. Listen to what it's telling you it needs. And then go ahead and try it out and see how it feels. All right, let's do one more together. So on your next inhale, we'll look forward, lifting the head, lifting the tail, dropping those lower ribs down towards the ground. And exhale, reversing that, dropping the head, dropping the tail, rounding through the spine. And on the inhale, go ahead and come back to your tabletop position. Now from here, bring your knees as wide as the mat, big toes to touch. We're going to look forward on the inhale, and on the exhale, go ahead and sink your hips back towards your heels. Walk your hands forward and slowly melt your forehead down to the mat. We're going to come into an extended child's pose. Now, if your forehead doesn't reach the mat, that's okay. You can use a block or a blanket or anything that you can bring the floor up to your forehead. So only go as far as it feels good to you. And take a few moments again just to breathe and center yourself. Take one more big inhale here. Exhale, let it all go. And then slowly look forward. We'll make our way back into that tabletop position. Bring your knees back underneath your hips. And then look at your hands. If they are stacked directly under your shoulder, just walk them one handprint in front of where they were. So they shouldn't be directly under your shoulder, so just a little bit out. From here, you can go ahead and tuck your toes. Take a nice big breath in. And then on the exhale, go ahead and lift the knees straight through the legs. Shift your weight back. So up, back, and down. Coming into our first downward facing dog of the practice. Now you can walk your dog here if it feels good to you, just bending one knee and then straightening through the other leg. So just walking back and forth. Remember to keep breathing while you're here. And then when you're ready, go ahead and bring that to stillness. Really pressing through your hands, feeling that energy moving up from your front body and then melting down your legs through the back body. You can feel your heels getting heavy, and if they don't touch the floor, that's okay. Make sure to keep breathing. I don't know what that clicking is. All right, on your next inhale, go ahead and lift your heel up towards the sky. Exhale, bend through the knee, shift forward, look forward, and we're gonna step our foot right in between our hands. Now from here, really use your core, and we're going to come up into a high lunge. So your front knee, so this is my right knee, is bent at a nice 90-degree angle. Make sure you can still see your big toe. Ooh. And then stay up nice and straight here. Now you have some options with your hands. They can either be at your waist, you can bring them to heart center, or you can extend your arms up overhead, coming into a nice high lunge. From here, we'll take a few breaths. If your arms are extended, make sure you're not wearing your shoulders as earrings, so you can lift your shoulders up, back, and down, feeling your shoulder blades down your back body. We'll take one more big inhale here. And then on your exhale, go ahead and rain your fingertips down to the mat. And then we're gonna step our right foot back to meet our left foot, coming into our first plank of today. Now in your plank, make sure your heels are reaching back towards the back of the room. So nice, lots of energy through it. Make sure your hips aren't dipping down and you're not piking up through your hips. So nice straight line through your spine with your forehead, and just look straight down. And breathe. If you're shaking, that's okay. You are alive. We're building up some heat. We don't have too many of these today. Let's take one more inhale here. And then exhale, lower all the way down to the belly. Then lower your forehead down to the mat. From here, make sure that your hands are underneath your shoulders, in line with your rib cage. And on your next inhale, just peel your nose slowly up, look forward. We're coming into a little baby cobra to start. Just warming up the upper back. Make sure to keep breathing. I have no idea what's going on. You gonna go check, Fritz? Take one more inhale here. Exhale, lower everything back down. All right, from here, let's go ahead and press back to all fours. We'll tuck our toes under. Inhale, look forward. And then on your exhale, go ahead and lift those knees off the mat, straightening through the legs, coming back in to a downward facing dog. Now, if you need to reposition yourself at all, feel free to. I had to walk my feet in just a little bit. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, let it all go. And then on your next inhale, go ahead and look forward at your hands, and we're going to make our way up to the top of the mat. So you can take little steps, you can take a couple of big steps, you can jump, hop, float, whatever feels good to you. And we're just going to make our way up to the top of the mat. Keep a slight lip bend in your knees. Inhale, come up halfway, nice flat back. Exhale, let it all go into your forward fold. Now this is a good place where if you have blocks or books or something that can bring the floor to you, you can use those. This is more of a stretch for your hamstrings and not your back. So use whatever props you have, and you can use them on different levels, just depending on your flexibility for today. Take one more inhale and exhale here. And after your after your exhale, we'll go ahead and really bend generously through the knees, and we'll slowly roll all the way up to a standing posture. Now you can lift your shoulders up, back and down, fix your clothing however you'd like, shake it out a minute, get any wiggles out, fix your hair, and then once you're ready, again, loop your shoulders up, back and down, and we're going to come into a strong mountain pose. Now your shoulders should be over your hips, over your knees, over your heels, chest nice and lifted. And just breathe. Really feel your feet on the floor. See if you can feel all points of your feet on the floor. So all four corners, all toes, really ground into the earth. Right, on your next inhale, we'll go ahead and reach our arms up to the sky. And then on an exhale, bend through your knees, shift your hips back. We're going to come back down into that forward fold. Inhale, halfway flat back. Exhale, let it all go. And then just breathe here. All right, after your next exhale, we're going to make our way back to downward facing dog. So make sure your hands are firmly planted into the mat, and then you can walk one foot back and then the other, coming back into your downward facing dog. Continue to keep breathing here, make any adjustments that you need. And we'll take one more big inhale here. Exhale, let it all go. And now we've got to repeat that whole sequence on our other side. So on your next inhale, go ahead and lift your left leg up towards the sky. Inhale, you're going to lift it. On the exhale, you're going to bend through the knee, shift forward, look forward, and we'll step our left foot in between our hands. Now, make sure you're really firmly rooted and grounded into the mat with your feet. And then when you're ready, use your core strength to lift up into your nice high lunge. Again, left foot or left leg should be bent at a 90-degree angle. Make any adjustments that you might need with the feet. And then place your hands wherever feels right to you. So it could be on your hips, could be at your chest, or you can lift your arms up to the sky. Really reaching through your side body. Wherever you're at, just make sure you're still breathing. One more big inhale here. And then on the exhale, we'll lower our hands back to the mat. And then we'll step our left foot back to meet our right foot, coming into our second plank of today. Yay! This is actually our last plank of today, or for practice today. You can do as many planks as you want outside of this. Okay, take one more big inhale here. And then on your exhale, go ahead and lower all the way down to the mat. Make sure your toes are untucked. And then on our next inhale, we'll rise up into that cobra. Now you can stay here in this baby cobra, or you can rise up, pushing through your hands, bringing your chest and your heart forward into a full cobra. If you feel any crunchiness in your back, lower down. You don't have to go as far or as high up. You want to protect your spine. Okay, we'll take one more inhale here. And then on the exhale, go ahead and lower down to the mat. Now we're going to make our way into downward facing dog again. You have some options, so you can either come to all fours and then rise up into your downward facing dog, or I'm going to give you another option here. You can tuck one toe and then the next. On an inhale, you can push up through your hands, coming back into that plank pose, and then on the exhale, you can shift your hips back and down into the downward facing dog. So I will leave that up to you, but meet me here in downward facing dog. Either way works. And we'll take a few breaths here again. All right, we'll take one more inhale here. Exhale, let it all go. All right, when you're ready, look forward at your hands. We're going to make our way back up to the top of the mat. So again, yogi's choice on how you get there. We're going to come back into that forward fold. So again, on an inhale, come up halfway flat back. Exhale, let it all go, and we'll just breathe here. And take one more inhale here. And on the exhale, push through your feet, bend through your knees, and we'll slowly rise up once again. And we'll come into our strong mountain pose. Again, make any necessary adjustments. Get the wiggles out, shake it out. And then when you're ready, bring it to stillness, really feeling your feet firmly planted on the mat. You can close your eyes. I like to close my eyes because it helps me to really feel the mat beneath my feet. As weird as that sounds. But you're more than welcome to keep your eyes open too. All right, on your next inhale again, we're going to lift our fingertips up towards the sky, feeling a nice stretch through our side bodies. And then exhale, bend through the knees, shift your hips back, coming back into our forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway flat back. Exhale, let it all go. And we'll breathe here once again. We'll take one more big inhale here. Exhale, let it all go. All right, now from here, really bend through the knees and then keep your hands on the floor, but come up onto your toes. So lift your heels up. From here, you can place one hand behind you and then the other. We're gonna come back to a seat. All right, so we are gonna do just a little bit of core work. We'll twist it out. We will stretch out our hips just a little bit and then we will be done. So it's a nice, quick, short little practice just to get some movement in and fire things up a little bit. Stretch everything out. All right, so there are going to be multiple levels to this. You take what feels good to you. So bring your feet to the mat, knees bent. From here, you can lean back and you can take your hands behind your thighs, right underneath your knees. Now, this may be enough for you just leaning back. If you'd like a little more, maybe come up onto your toes. You could lift one leg and you can bring it just a parallel, and maybe the other, and maybe you just hang out here, just kind of balancing on your butt. Or maybe you'd like to straighten one leg and the other, and you can be here too. Or if you would like to keep your knees bent and you'd like to release your hands, you can let go of your hands and lift them forward. Now if you want to come into full boat pose, you'll just raise your feet up, so straighten through your legs, lifting up through the chest. But if you find yourself rounding or collapsing, then just go down a level, I guess, would be my preference for you. But yeah, you can stay here, breathing, turning on that core. Excuse me. Looking up. And then when you've had enough of that, you can go ahead and cross at the ankles. Whew, and then come forward. So just a nice little core activation there. All right, enough of that. Let's go ahead and roll down onto our backs. Oof, that feels good. And then you can straighten one leg and then the other. All right, so we're gonna go into a little bit of twisting here, so that'll help to wring out the lungs and other organs and things like that. So when you're ready, let's bend our right knee, bring it into your chest. Take just a couple breaths here. And when you're ready, take your arm out, your right arm out, and we're gonna cross our right leg over our left side, so you should feel a nice twist. Keep your right shoulder blade on the mat, and I like to take my foot and just place it on the inside of whatever thigh I'm crossing it over. If you feel your shoulder blade coming up at all, just don't twist as far. And from here, just breathe. I was actually not planning on recording today. I had some other errands and things planned, but Mother Nature decided there were different plans, and it snowed all day. Starting from early morning, we ended up with 5 inches here, which isn't a lot, but it is because we haven't been getting that much snow. It's quite a bit of snow for what we have been getting here lately. But the streets are a mess, so I'm not going to be running those errands. I kind of waylaid all my plans. So I decided to make the best of it and do this little snow day yoga video instead. Those other things will still be waiting for me, and it's no need to get upset about it. Things will still get done. All right, we'll take one more breath here. And then on an exhale, let's go ahead and return to center and go ahead and extend that leg out. We'll take just a couple breaths here just to compare both sides. All right, now we've got to do the other side. So when you're ready, let's go ahead and bend that left knee into our chest. Feel a nice stretch first. And then once you're ready, we're going to take our left hand, place that out directly from your shoulder onto the floor, and then we'll twist over our right side. Now you can look out at your left palm, or you can look straight up, or just whatever's comfortable for you. Whatever you do, keep breathing. Make sure your left shoulder blade is still on the mat or the floor. So yesterday when they were talking about the weather, I chose not to run my errands because my day was kind of odd. Also, this last 2 weeks have been a little odd for me. My schedule kind of just temporarily changed. So I haven't been able to do my normal routine. I will say that in the past, that would have been a very huge struggle for me because I like to try and control the outcomes and just have a plan. So then when that plan gets derailed, then it throws everything off, and then you go into this doomsday spiral of everything's going wrong and nothing's working and I'm never going to get it done. And it's taken a lot to not go into that spiral. Because when you go into that spiral, it really takes away from you living now. Because you're looking at all of these worst case things and everything's awful, and it takes a lot of effort to shift your mindset. What has been most helpful for me is finding something else to do. So whether that's meditation or yoga or just dancing around or going for a walk or just anything else, it kind of snaps me back into the present moment to where I'm not thinking about the future and worrying about all these things that now I have to try to do. All right, we'll take one more breath here. And then on the exhale, let's go ahead and return back to center. Go ahead and bring both of your feet to the mat, knees bent. And we'll just take a couple breaths here. And when you're ready, we're going to bring our knees into our chest. Give yourself a big hug. Now you don't have to lift your head up to your knees. You can just leave your head on the mat. And just breathe. You should feel a nice stretch in your lower back. You can even rock side to side if it feels good to you. You can have it, or you can just be still. Whatever feels, again, right in your body. But I wanted to make this little, after all of my plans decided to, or actually ended up just being derailed, what I originally had planned. I decided to go ahead and record today because I'm here, I'm not going anywhere, and it may not be when I wanted to do it, but I still have the time and I can make the best use of it. And I thought a nice little snow day yoga flow, kind of relaxing, would be nice to do. I know when it's a snow day here, I just want to sit and veg and do nothing, but sometimes some movement feels good. Not a lot, but just enough to kind of warm things up, especially if it's cold. Get some movement in, and then you can go back to the blanket or the couch. And then you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to go somewhere to take a class. You don't have to drive. You're just at home, chilling, and then you're done, and then you can get back to real chilling. All right, let's stretch out our hips a little bit. So, this is gonna be a little bit tricky if you're not used to it, but I'll give you options. So we're gonna go into a happy baby. If happy baby is already in your practice, you can go ahead and make your way into it. Otherwise, if you're not, I'll walk you through it. So we're gonna keep our knees bent, but take the soles of your feet up to the ceiling. So keep your feet nice and bright. Now for some, this is gonna be enough. And you can just grab behind your, not necessarily knees, but thighs right here. So maybe that's enough for you. If you'd like a little more, you can grab onto your ankles, or if you have, I don't have long pants on today, but if I did, that's where I would be grabbing. There's 5 inches of snow and I'm wearing capris. So you can grab onto a pant leg, or you can grab onto your ankles. Or full pose would be grabbing onto the sides of your feet and then just kicking your feet open. Now wherever you're at, make sure you're lengthening your tailbone down onto the mat. So your lower back should feel nice and flush with the mat. And then just make sure you're breathing. Now if you'd like to bring some movement into your happy baby, you can bend one knee and then the other. You can kind of rock back and forth. We're just getting some sun on the underside of our booties. Opening up our hips. If this is also a little bit too much for you, if you have a strap or like maybe a rope tie or something, you can bring that around your feet and you can hold on to that too. Just go wherever it feels comfortable to you. A lot of people don't like this pose. I like it. But I'm pretty mobile in my hips, but they do get a little tight every now and then. Take one more big inhale here. Exhale, let it all go. Bring your feet down to the mat, and this time you're going to bring your feet as wide as the mat and let your knees fall in. So we're just doing kind of a counter pose. So we're going to let our knees fall together. You can have your hands out or you can bring them on your body and just breathe. One more big inhale here. Exhale, let it all go. And then from here you can straighten one leg and then the other. We're going to move into our final resting pose that Sam so graciously demonstrated at the beginning. So we're going to move into Shavasana, corpse pose. You can't see him. Well, you can see part of him. But Fritz is already in it. You can see his little booty here. Some people like to bring their hands onto their body, like one onto the heart, one onto the belly, maybe both on the belly. And if you don't, that's okay. You can have your hands out at a 45-degree angle, palms up or down, or sometimes even pinkies, just touching the earth. So get into your most comfortable Shavasana that you can. If you have a blanket or a towel that you'd like to cover up with, go ahead and grab that. Some people really like eye pillows to kind of block out the light. And then from here, just let everything go. Let go of the day, letting the benefits of the practice just marinate in your body. And just let go of what no longer serves you. Focus on your breath. You can close down the eyes or soften the gaze. And then just get really relaxed. I am going to go quiet for just a moment while we're here. And I will be back momentarily to bring you out of Shavasana. So the card I picked for practice today is Moth Spirit, and its message is surrender now. Moth Spirit asks, what is guiding you right now? Are you in alignment with Spirit, or pursuing something or someone with so much tenacity that it has become a compulsion or addiction? Are you so intoxicated by a potential relationship or opportunity that you can't think straight? Hard work and dedication are virtues. Ew, stop. And love, of course, is a beautiful thing, but not when you kiss me in the mouth, Sam. However, when Moth Spirit appears, it is time to consider if you have gone over the edge in a relentless pursuit. Workaholism, overeating, perfectionism, or addiction to certainty, or even to a person may be your current vice. The form of your addiction does not matter, so much as awareness of the consequences of remaining persistent when moderation is needed. Let go of your excessive energy by channeling it in more than one direction. The fire burns hot, and you do not want to be engulfed by your passion to the exclusion of all the other pursuits that matter to you. Now is a time for surrender and radical acceptance so that your drive does not cause you to flee or to fight. Spirit wants you to release your need for certainty and control so that you can relax into a more balanced way of using your Moth Spirit energy. Banish the shoulds and musts so that you can enjoy what is as you allow for what might be. It's a really good message for today, especially given the situation that I'm in currently. All right. So if you want to stay in Shavasana, stay as long as time allows for you. Otherwise, if you are ready to go, slowly start to deepen your breath. You can wiggle fingers and toes just to wake up the body. And when you're ready, place both feet on the mat, knees bent. From here, go ahead and roll onto your favorite side. You can use your arm as a little pillow, coming into a little fetal position. And take just a couple breaths there. when you're ready, go ahead and push yourself up to a nice comfortable seat, bringing your head and neck up last. So thank you so much for spending your time and your practice with me. This video again is just exclusively right now on my Patreon account. So thank you so much to my subscribers. I really appreciate you. If you know someone else that might benefit from this practice, please send them my channel. Leave me any comments if you have any suggestions of things that you'd like to see. Let me know. I'm always looking for new ideas. But thank you so much. Stay safe wherever you're at, whenever you're taking this. If it's on a snow day, stay nice and warm. Go get some hot chocolate or a hot toddy, whatever. And when you are ready, say namaste. Have a beautiful week.